Well, good morning, and thanks for joining us on our daily walk. A little walk in the field today, and the reason is as you might see, we've got a visitor. That's our daughter's son's service dog, and this beautiful, peaceful day started off for me walking these two down to the woods, which I can only describe as me somehow trying to choreograph 10 4-year-old dancers for the big show. It is just a tangle after another, but so much fun because, well, they've been having fun. They're a little slowed down right now. They're just enjoying the morning. Hope you're enjoying yours too, and thank you for coming along with us. As you know, it's nothing glitzy about this. It's just me and you going for a walk and taking in a little bit of nature, maybe sharing some thoughts. If you have any, please put them in the comments. I had a lot of thoughts about and some meditations that I was just going to bring up today, but with having these two wonderful animals with me, I might have to kind of wait on that till tomorrow. Which, oddly enough, is kind of what I've been meditating on lately, thinking about, and that's time. And I know you heard me say tomorrow, which is a period of time in the future that has yet not come about. But I spent a lot of the now time thinking about the past. Now, I really enjoy science. I don't get it all, but I can pick up some of what is being talked about when it comes to quantum theories, theoretical physics. See, I can't even say the words, but I enjoy listening to these folks who have just really spent their whole lives and their whole a lot of their brain power has been surrounding questions. I think that's great, to look at questions and come up with theories, ideas, and then proofs and evidence. And I do that, and you do that your whole life too, consciously or unconsciously. And that's really a little bit about why I was thinking so much about the past. Where does the past go? And greater minds than I have looked and tried to figure this out. And I kind of bringing together a couple of things in my mind. I might have heard me talk about before that I look at our human body as a receptor. And I was trying to figure out a better way to say that. But let me go with this, that we have a multiple of sensors. And I say that like sensors, meaning that there are parts of us that can sense this thing, and then there's another sensor that senses another thing, and then those sensors go to our brain, who then discerns, questions, it brings to logic, we'll call it, what we the sensor is giving us. So, as easy as that. The sensor of taste is through our mouths. We can put something in our mouths, and we are actually picking up the frequencies. Remember this, the frequencies of atoms within that food molecule, proteins, that within that food, it's giving off a mixed vibration of frequencies that are received by the sensors or sensor of taste. And then it is sent through to our brain, and then further distinguished on what it tastes like. That makes sense? Because, I mean, it's kind of basically where I'm at. It's understanding that everything is a frequency, and the mixing of frequencies gives us a different harmony, a different tune, and our brain must take in those frequencies. Now, here's the thing. We don't have all the sensors needed to really determine everything about this reality. And you know, it's God's reality. We're living in a reality created by God, and it is, and our creation lacks some sensors, and or we could say we do not exercise some of those sensors. Now, we know we lack sensors because we know there's wavelengths, frequencies, that our sensors just can't pick up. Yet, like a bee who has sensors, receptors, that takes in a different wavelength of light. We've got things, you know, like ultraviolet that we can't actually see without a use of an outside sensor. In our cases, we use an electronic sensor to pick up those things that are brought into visual focus frequencies, brought into visual focus light frequencies, and then we can bring those into our eyes, go through the determinations through there to see things that we can't see. So can I strengthen a receptor of ultraviolet? Do I have the sensor capability of looking into the ultraviolet? Now, that might not have been the most perfect case, but let's look at that. It's either going to be yes or no. And can some people see into the ultraviolet by chance or circumstance, or by having exercised that? Okay. This is a bunch of stuff trying to get around and understanding then our reality. Right now, my sensors are all working. I'm getting to see the dog play, and you're seeing it. You're receiving this. You're receiving sound vibrations. Your mind's taking them in. You're discerning them. And then maybe later, or even now, your mind has been taking these things in and are making, we'll just say, making sense of it. And you may further think about what I've said and find more sense or answers to some questions that may be in your mind. All right. All that being said, what happens to the past? What happens to the past? I right now am doing this. I am in the now. But when you're watching this, you're actually watching this in the future. So, what I'm doing now to you is the past. So, in some sense, you're seeing into the past. Yet, in another sense, your sensors are picking up a stored amount of information, stored electronically in this case, that has been preserved for the future where you're now watching it. So that storage of information, maybe like we do within ourselves, we store a movie, a type of movie of the past in our minds. Our storage capability allows us to relive the past. And that storage capability says we not only can more or less visualize the past, we can remember, and so there's the words remember, words that happen, feelings and emotions that have happened. So I think it's quite an interesting thing that we have been created with that. And I've been meditating on God's Word through the Bible, and trying to understand, of course, the character of God, which can be done through a lot of different sensors that I have. One being the sensors that allows me to read the words of the Bible, which does indeed describe the character of God. You can see someone's character by what they have done, and then you can project that character into the future by knowing what they did in the past. So, what I've been meditating on, and what we're not going to be able to really talk about now, today, or when you watch this in the past, is want to look at, is there anything that we can do to affect the past? Can I do something in the now that will affect the past? Think about that. That just sounds like that's crazy talk, because we cannot go into the past. But then again, I kind of explained how we are going back into the past. It's good stuff. Hard to wrap your mind around, but there's going to be a real reason why I want to go into the past. I find it fascinating that within time, as we understand it, and you got to know this, I think that the best way to put it is, time is God's way of not letting everything happen at once. I think you'll find that to be a pretty profound statement, and I'm kind of proud of it. Time is God's way of not letting everything happen at once. Yet it's happening. Our reality of time is indeed been created. And so far as I can tell, because of the confusion of so many scientists studying this thing, is that they're missing the biggest denominator of all. And that would be the creator of time. So wrap your head around that, and maybe next time, in the past, present, or future, you'll join me again for our daily walk, and let's explore that. Until then, may God's face shine upon you. Shalom, and goodbye.